Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. And no, you don't have to adjust your TV screens or your settings or anything. Yes, this is a Chevrolet in my shop. And it's in here actually for a good cause, and we are gonna get our hands dirty working on this today. It is a 1997 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 3.1 liter. And it actually belongs to a gentleman that needed a little bit of help. He was kind of obviously having car issues and trying to get back and forth to work, and had some friends trying to help him out. And they had actually let me know that his car was broke down. He'd been trying to find somebody to fix it. And with repair shops labor being north of $100 an hour these days, it makes it pretty hard for a guy to be able to take care of his family, get back and forth to work, and pay Lord knows how much they would charge to fix this car, especially with a 2-hour minimum, plus whatever it is to fix it, plus the parts, so on and so forth. And with me having my own shop, no overhead, all the tools and equipment here, I can offer him a discount to, well, we're gonna go ahead and fix this with the price of on the house. I'm not gonna charge the gentleman anything. I was going to be down here anyway today. He needs a hand, and we're going to give him that hand. Try to help this gentleman out and be able to give him transportation back and forth to work, so on and so forth. So my understanding is it's having an overheating issue. It overheated on the gentleman to the point it actually damaged the clear coat on the front of the car here. So hopefully it's nothing major. We can just replace a water pump, thermostat, check the hoses, so on and so forth. So well, that's it. Let's get after it. This is Busted Radio Garage. All right, guys, like I was saying, it's just a 3.1 liter Chevrolet engine. Never have been a big fan of this design whatsoever in any platform of car at all. I don't care for it. I'm not much on front wheel drive cars. But nevertheless, here's the water pump. Here's the hose, you know, all the electrical stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. Looks like they've tried to tinker with it a little bit. Got the reservoir box loose, so on and so forth. So, looks like he's got a little bit of damage in this hose. So, what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and get this water pump, check on it, make sure it's fine. We get the thermostat out. Thermostat's only a couple bucks, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it one way or the other. Check the rest of these hoses. Got the parts sitting over here on top of Junkyard Dog. So we've got a water pump and a thermostat. So this will be kind of like of an instruction video too. I'll kind of put it in the description below, you know, to try to do like the how-to. You know, if somebody's in this position and they can't necessarily afford to pay a shop $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, whatever dollars it is to do this work for them, I will do an instructional video on how to remove this, replace it, fix it, so on and so forth. Because I'm 100% all about helping somebody out. I mean, I get the automotive industry. You have a business to run. I get that. I truly do. I don't necessarily agree with some of the prices people charge. You know, I never have. You know, some of it's just ridiculous. But let's get after it. I'm going to start with getting this water pump off. We'll get the thermostat out, and we'll kind of go from there. And so let's see if we can get this old girl back on the road for this guy and help him out. Cool. Let's get after it. All right, guys. Got my studio lighting all set up here so I can lighten this up a little bit. Hey, good fun fact is this lighting setup here was actually given to me by Derek Bieri over at Vice Grip Garage. Pretty cool gift. Derek, if you're watching this, we are using those, and I thank you very much. All right, good rule of thumb, guys, is anytime you go to take off any type of pulley, right? It's always a good rule of thumb, let this belt be your friend. So this belt is obviously going to hold all this to keep it from spinning. Any of you have ever have a part off that has a pulley on it, it's just going to free spin, spin, spin around. So if you take the belt off first and you go to try to break these bolts loose, this pulley's just going to want to spin on you. So make it easy on yourself and break any bolts loose. Now you don't want to take it completely off and then this go flying off and hurt somebody or hurt you. But it's a good rule of thumb, just go ahead and get these broke loose a little bit before you remove your belt, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get these 4 bolts off. We're gonna remove the belt, get this pulley taken off, and then we'll disconnect and remove the water pump. If y'all are looking for size on this as well, these 4 bolts on the water pump pulley are 10 millimeter. And any of you have 10 millimeters, like hold on to them, because man, they will run off on you like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so we got those broke loose. Actually, one of these bolts has been changed before. So I've got 3 10 millimeter. We'll have to check that one. It might be a 12 or a 13. Okay, yeah, so this oddball one's a 12. I'm not sure if that's factory or not. I kind of doubt it. But I'm not a big Chevrolet guy, so I don't know. All right, she's wanting to spin on me here. All right, let me get a flat blade. All right, if you get into this position here where somebody's tinkered with it, and you got 3 of them loose and you got one that's still a little tight, what I'll do is I'll take like a flathead screwdriver or a pry bar and wedge it between 2 of the bolts and kind of give me a little bit of leverage against the bolt I'm trying to remove. So I'm just going to hold pressure the one way and try to back off the other. All right, just like that. You're not fiddle farting around trying to create a tool or whatever. You just need something to get you a little bit of leverage. All right, so we've got those broke loose, so now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the belt. Okay, your next step is going to want to get this bolt loose, or get this belt loose so you can get it off and removed. So most tensioners will have a notch in it and the front top tension of the tensioner to be able to get a ratchet on it. So as you see, the ratchet will go in just like it would a socket, okay? Well, let me get mine back out of here, she done fell. So, let me get you in here. So it'll just sit in there like so, like with a socket. And you're able to just pull up on it and release the tension on the belt, see? So you're not using a pry bar like we used to do back in the old days, or try to create something. So they've actually have a notch in the tensioner now. So I'll go ahead and raise this up and remove the belt off of the water pump. So you'll have to give me a second. I'll have to put the camera down for that portion of it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this belt. And what it's doing is it's coming up over top of the power steering pump and then putting downward force onto the water pump. So we'll just lift up, and we're just gonna slide this belt off, and we're just gonna let her hang there, out of the way. And then when we're done, we can just put it right back on top. So it's down here, out of the way, it's not hurting nothing, and it's not in our way. So now we're gonna go ahead and get this guard off, get the rest of these hoses unhooked, and get this water pump removed. All right, so now we're going to get these 4 bolts off of this pulley. Set them up here in the universal bolt holder section. Okay, there's just your pulley for your water pump. Set it up here. Take you down here and show you this water pump. This is actually a really simple design. So the housing itself is going to stay here. The turbine portion of it, it's 4 bolts. And essentially this center section here is going to pop out, and this pulley section here is actually attached to the turbine blades in the back, which force the water, okay? So give me a second, we'll remove these 4 bolts, we'll get this water pump off, we'll clean up the area and put the new water pump in. All right, hang tight, I'll be right back with you. All right, for those of you that are following along as far as the do-it-yourself, your 4 bolts on your turbine section are a 5/16. So we're gonna go to get these loose. We're gonna get them all broke loose at first, and then we'll go through and back them the rest of the way out. Probably do this with a small impact, to be honest with you, but to work on the side of caution so we don't break anything off, because this is not my car. Again, we're doing this to help out somebody. We're gonna do it with hand tools only and do it that way. If this was my car, it'd be a little bit different, but again, it's not. And we do not want to make this gentleman's situation worse. As again, we are doing this free of charge. So we don't want to add any possible expenses to this gentleman by being reckless and breaking a bolt off. All right, let me get these 4 bolts all the way out, and I'll bring you back in when we pull the section apart. Okay guys, we got the 4 bolts out holding the turbine section of the water pump together. Now what I like to do to break this seal, because there's gonna be a gasket in here, okay, is I don't like going and prying on them at first. Because, I mean, if this hasn't been changed, it's been on there for what, 20, 25 years, roughly? So I like to take these little rubber or plastic hammers, and you don't want to go all Thor on it, you know what I mean? Just, you know, give it a couple little love taps to help break it loose. Let me get something, we're leaking antifreeze. Okay, make sure you put a jug underneath there to catch that antifreeze. I will agree with a lot of channels that say this. There's nothing worse than having antifreeze on your floor. I forgot a bolt, guys. There are 5 in there. So when I told you a while ago 4, there are 5. There's one tucked up underneath this bracket here. It's all good. Next couple seconds. This belt is gonna squall like you wouldn't believe when we put this back together. Antifreeze going everywhere. Believe it or not, the water pump on the Roadrunner is built the exact same way as this car. Okay. There's the turbine portion for this car. If I'm being honest with you, it doesn't look that bad. It's been changed before, for sure. It's not loose, it's not wobbling around. So we'll get this all cleaned up, put the new one on. We have the part here, we might as well. Then we'll go ahead and get the thermostat changed, check the system, fill everything back up, and we'll see what happens. All right, again, for those that are watching this with a do-it-yourselfer, once you get this apart, make sure you take a razor blade, a scraper, something, and clean all the way around the surface of this water pump. Or anything for that matter, thermostat housing, anything that you change that you're gonna redo the gasket on, make sure you clean the surface of the area you're gonna put a new gasket on, anywhere. Because you're gonna want your new gasket to be able to adhere surface to surface so you have no leaks. So I'm gonna take this one, I'm gonna scrape it all the way down, and then we'll take a nice clean rag, dry everything off, and we'll prepare our new gasket. So again, for you do-it-yourselfers that are watching this, make sure you clean your area really well. And again, I'm just using a little putty knife. All right, guys, we got everything cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead and install the new pump now. Make very sure you do not break your gasket. Just take your time. Make sure you line up all your holes. I like to go every other one, kind of like you do a car wheel. All right, guys, we got all 5 bolts in with the new gasket. Now there's gonna be 5 bolts, so I'm gonna do this kind of like you would a car tire. and I'm just gonna work my way around a couple different times so I can get them somewhat snug. And skip every other bolt. Now, I didn't mention it a second ago, but there is a certain way these go in, and at the very top of your new turbine section, there's going to be an arrow to indicate to the top, and it'll go right underneath this bracket. Because these bolt holes are only going to go one certain way. Now these don't have to be like manhandled on there. You don't have to beat on them like they owe you money. Just get them good and snug, work your way around one last time, and be done with it. Make sure you check it. She is moving free, not hitting or rubbing anything. All right, I'll go ahead and get this pulley back on, and we'll reinstall the belt, and it'll be all done over here, and we'll change the thermostat. All right, guys, we got the new water pump installed, pulley back on, everything tightened back down, got the belt back on. Now we're gonna go ahead and move over, get the thermostat changed, and then we'll test on her. Hang tight a second. All right, guys, next is the thermostat, and this is another reason why I hate these designs. Here's the thermostat housing. It's off the radiator, it goes way back up in underneath the throttle body, and back underneath there are the two bolts. You see your top bolt up here, your bottom bolt is way down in there behind everything. And these are a royal pain in the butt. So I'll get a camera set up, show you what I do to get that bottom bolt out. And it is no fun whatsoever, but it has to be done, right? So let's get after this nightmare and get this straightened up. All right, boys and girls, it's about an hour or so later. Something happened with my film on the thermostat portion. My camera's acting funny, not sure what's going on there, but one thing that I did find is it's got a small leak back here where the head gasket meets the block, which isn't good. Just a good indicator it got really hot and lifted the head just enough for the gasket to start going bad. So I explained that to him, that that's probably more likely than not going to be an issue, so we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But I might be able to put something in there to slow that down. So we'll just see what happens here in a few minutes. I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, as you can see, sun's starting to cool down for the night. Been a long day. Got this old girl done. Just got back from taking her up the road. She's set to go. Unfortunately, when it overheated on him the last time, it got so hot that it damaged the head gasket, I believe. It's going, so hopefully we can put some sealant in it just to get him by until he can get another one bought. But it runs good, but it's definitely hurt. So I did what I could do with it for what we could do. But anyway, he'll be able to get a few days out of it, hopefully, until he can get him another car bought. But that's it for this episode. Well, again, we did what we could for it. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and take this time to subscribe to the channel. Got a lot going on these days. We also have the second channel, which is Busted Radial Outdoor. Go check it out. That has a lot to do with this farm and other stuff that we do out here. And again, if you want your free stickers, make sure to shoot me over an email with your address. I'll get them right out to you. I even pay the shipping. And if you're wanting any of the merch, make sure to come to see us at one of our events. We'll be at Cletus and Cars for the La Mullets, November 19th. Down in Bradenton, Florida. Come out and see us and get you some free merch, shirts, hats, license plates, whatever. And all right, that's gonna be it. You all have a good evening. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.